The plan has been revealed for Isaiah Hartenstein, what he's going to look like with this Oklahoma City Thunder offense and defense, and what his minutes could potentially look like as well in this rotation now that we have, as there's a lot of good players that could get key minutes that might deserve around 12 to 20 minutes a game. But with all the additions this offseason, Alex Caruso and Isaiah Hartenstein, the big ones, how many people are really going to get all these minutes, and what are Hartenstein's minutes going to look like? And is he going to start, or is Caruso's going to start? It's kind of been answered in a recent article that Joel Lorenzi put up on the Oklahoman that we're going to kind of break down here and talk about it, give you my thoughts where I kind of agree with him, and see if there's anything I don't really agree with him on regarding Isaiah Hartenstein and if it is a good fit for the Oklahoma City Thunder. Before we get all that, though, we want to take a quick moment and recognize that around 9.5% of you guys have that bell notification turned on. If you guys don't want to miss a single minute of the action here on Thunder Digest, like when we go live, when a new video is posted, go ahead, hit that bell notification. If you aren't subscribed yet, but you find yourself coming back on a regular basis, go ahead, hit that subscribe button. It's the best way to support my channel here. With that out of the way, we can go ahead and get into the topic at hand, talking about this article from Joel Lorenzi and what Hartenstein brings to this Oklahoma City Thunder offense and defense. I know we've talked about it quite a bit, but the question is, can we still space the floor like we always have? Are we going to be able to do that? That's the question. And I think Joel Lorenzi kind of answered it very well with what he had to say here. Even without any artful facilitators on the roster, the circumstances are different from a year ago. While losing its most capable passer and Josh Giddey, OKC unlocked a level of sustainable spacing that wasn't possible with them. The team should create more advantages with its driving kick, forcing teams to help harder and make tougher decisions than before. Teams will likely force OKC to make the skip pass, which should the team ball handlers be up for it, will be available for the kill. OKC is still anticipating necessary leaps as decision makers from Chet Holmgren, Cason Wallace, and Jalen Williams. More on that later, in which he talked about Jalen Williams, or a little part of his article there, but this is mainly about Hartenstein. But with Hartenstein, who's shown enough as a high post hub, the Thunder should run into fewer dead ends. It'll take some creativity and guts, but the Thunder will have options to toy with in the half court. This is where it gets into it. Isaiah Hartenstein, yes, he is a center. He's not a better passer or facilitator than Josh Giddey. I could say the same thing about Alex Caruso. But when you look at him, they're good enough where we can still space the floor and make some, the extra pass, a skip pass, overhead pass, whatever we need to do. Getting a guy on the cut. Isaiah Hartenstein finds him very well there, especially when he gets the ball down low, brings in the defender. He realizes, okay, now this dude's wide open. I know where he is, kicks it out to him. That's going to open up this offense a lot more. And with Giddey out now, I know I'm going to miss him. He was a great facilitator. His slob and blob passes were out of this world. He really was one of the better facilitators and playmakers in the league when you look at it from a passing standpoint and a true point guard standpoint as well. When you look at it how he was played in the 70s, 80s, he really was great. It's just we need someone in that corner that can be open, that we can rely on to make the three ball when we give it to him. And Alex Caruso does that. Aaron Wiggins does that. Isaiah Joe does that. We have a ton of guys on our team that can do that. Giddey was the only one. And so when he was on the court, when we would draw his defender in, he's open in the corner wing now, it was kind of a dead weight because it was like a 25% chance he would actually make that shot. Now with everything that we have, it's going to help out a ton. And Isaiah Hartenstein, he's not this traditional big man center that's going to clog the lane and doesn't really make good passes. He has great court vision. Yes, he does play down low like a traditional big man, but he can pass the ball well. And it's not like he's a bad three-point shooter. We've seen him take three-pointers in his career. And he has a decent stroke as well. We've seen him practicing in the offseason. If he can add that three-point shot to his bag where we can have him take a three-pointer or two each game, that would be great. It would be fantastic for us as a whole unit. Because now we have someone on the court, no matter what, we can trust them. Yeah, we trust you to hit this open three-point shot now. Isaiah Hartenstein, if he can continue his improvement on his three ball, that'll help out even more. But speaking on his facilitating, he really is one of the better passing big men in the league. When you pair him up with guys like Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Jalen Williams, Isaiah Joe, Aaron Wiggins, everyone out there. Lou Dort, who's a 3-and-D specialist. You pair them up all right there. You get it down low to him down in at the high post or in the paint. He draws in a defender, and you'll kick it out and get it to someone open behind the three-point line, which would make us even a better three-point shooting team than we were last season. Now getting into the second part here, talking about Isaiah Hartenstein, is the minutes. What's the rotation going to be like? Is he going to start? Is he going to come off the bench? And Joel Lorenzi, I think he said it perfectly. Thunder fans will rejoice with interlaced fingers when they realize he'll teeter between starting and not starting games based on matchups. Regardless, it doesn't matter so much as what lineups the big man plays with. Among the things to consider is what lineups require his presence most during the dog days of the season. That's probably where he'll be found most. That's most obviously in the lineups without Chet Holmgren, which yearn for a rim protector. That could very well be inside second units run by Williams alongside a movement shooter like Isaiah Joe, slotted in with an aspiring playmaker like Cason Wallace. Maybe that means using Holmgren as a movement shooter when they're together. Maybe that means inverted pick and rolls. Fans are creative, but maybe not as creative as the mad scientists inside the Thunder facilities. OKC, overflowing with talent and bodies, will have ample time to find out what works, and the results just might please all parties who are curious about Hartenstein's role. And that's just something we got to look at. And this says it perfectly, what Joel Lorenzi said about the rotation. And pretty much everything I've seen in his article, I agree with to a T. He hit the nail on the head here with the hammer, talking about what Hartenstein's going to bring to the team, what's going to happen. Yes, there will be games he starts, but there will also be games he comes off the bench where we see a guy like Alex Caruso or even Isaiah Joe starting against smaller lineups that we know, okay, they like to try to clog the lane a little bit. They're not great perimeter defenders, so let's get our three-point shooters out there in that starting lineup and get ahead as soon as possible. It's just one of those situations that truly depends on who we're playing. I think when we're playing a team like the Denver Nuggets or Minnesota Timberwolves, even the Dallas Mavericks that have bigger bodies than us, when I say bigger, I don't mean size-wise, I just mean strength and weight-wise, it would be a good idea to then have Isaiah Hartenstein start with us, run that starting unit, get around 28 minutes a game, and also be in that closing lineup as well. Maybe see him run in the secondary a little bit as well in those games. Those are situations where you see him starting. The situations you don't see him starting is when you play a team like the Warriors or even the Grizzlies, who don't have huge bodies by any means. Yes, the Grizzlies have Zach Edey and Jaren Jackson Jr., but I feel like they are very easy to handle for us with our small ball lineup. I think Alex Caruso would fit well in against the Grizzlies and Warriors. Those are probably teams that we see Isaiah Hartenstein come off the bench. The Boston Celtics as well, when I look at that team with Kristaps Porzingis out for a little bit, even with him coming back, they're not a huge team. That's also a situation where I see Hartenstein potentially coming off the bench, playing against these Eastern Conference teams like the Boston Celtics and the New York Knicks. There are some other teams, though, the Orlando Magic, for example, where I might want Hartenstein starting in those scenarios. It just truly depends who we're playing and if we have the matchup, if we have a better matchup, if we start Hartenstein or Alex Caruso. You're probably going to see them mix and match every other game for the first 10 to 15 games of the season, get a feel, and you're not going to see the same starting five until probably game 12 of the season, because I think we're going to throw some lineups where Aaron Wiggins also starts instead of Hartenstein or Caruso. Maybe even Isaiah Joe starts. We might see Dort come off the bench to see if he brings more value coming off the bench. Personally, I don't think he would. I think he brings much more value as a starter in this league than coming off the bench for the Oklahoma City Thunder. But that is a situation that we could end up seeing. The possibilities are just limitless right now, and there's no telling what it's going to look like. However, I do know there are going to be times when Hartenstein starts and he doesn't start. It truly depends on the matchup. He's not a for sure starter for us on this team because, like it was mentioned by Joel Lorenzi and like it's mentioned by me multiple times, I feel like every other Thunder media member, Rylan Stiles, all these other articles that you see out here, it's always mentioned it's going to go based off of matchup. I do think Isaiah Hartenstein would be the better starter than Alex Caruso for us, but I also want us to do it based off of matchup, whichever gives us the best chance to win a game. That's all I got for this video. Let me know what you guys personally think about Isaiah Hartenstein joining the squad, as we're only a few days out now from the NBA season starting. And there's just still a lot of questions. What is he going to bring to the team? We won't know until we finally see him in the first NBA game wearing an Oklahoma City Thunder jersey. Just let me know what you guys personally want to see from him this upcoming season. That's all I got for this video. I'll see you guys in the next one.